After 7 long years, finally, Super Monkey Ball has returned. It's really surreal being able to actually talk about a game in this series being released. Honestly, I thought it would have been several more years before I saw IS face again. The last game in the series was Banana Splits in 2012, and besides that and some cameos in the app Monkey Ball Balance in 2014, the series was pretty much dead. When I was younger, I didn't really care too much about gaming news, so the lack of new games didn't really bother me. But after Nintendo Switch was revealed in 2016, I really started to pay attention, and the question of Monkey Ball's return slowly started to become more and more prevalent to me over time. Honestly, I was starting to get really annoyed by Sega's disrespect of the franchises that fans really wanted, and Sega ignoring the 15th anniversary of Monkey Ball to make Sonic Forces is when I thought all hope was lost. But nonetheless, in 2019, whether from a poll of what franchises fans wanted back or success of the Vote Out Kickstarter, which honestly wouldn't surprise me, Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD was revealed. I won't go too deep into the fan reaction due to me wanting to elaborate in a further review, but it wasn't a great reception. Granted, the public opinion did seem to raise a bit, as the new official Monkey Ball Twitter updated some aspects of the remake and answered questions. I went into Banana Blitz HD fairly optimistic, but was also aware of the problems I had with the original Banana Blitz and was curious to see how certain aspects were addressed. The major addition to Banana Blitz HD is some extra modes you can access, like a time trial mode, which essentially acts as a challenge mode, or a decathlon mode, which allows you to play a marathon of 10 minigames that were carried away from the original 50 in Banana Blitz. Most of these minigames were pretty low quality, so cutting them down was definitely warranted, although some notable games weren't included like Monkey Wars and Monkey Race, which was definitely an odd choice. I'm not that bothered since the minigames besides that weren't really that notable. As good as these new modes are, what I really spent my time on was the main game. This game still retains the same characters as the original game, except with the inclusion of Sonic, who's unlockable. They all have different stats like they did in the original, but the stats are actually displayed in this version, unlike the original. Each character can walk in a costume Super Monkey Ball 3D in this game by completing worlds, which is a change that I can greatly appreciate, since 3D wasn't that good of a Monkey Ball game, so it makes sense that they would want to preserve a good aspect of it, along with giving the player a nice reward. Graphically, this game looks really nice. It takes the graphics from the original game and upscales it to glorious HD. This game has better lighting and shaders that really makes the colorful art style pop. Every world really looks great to look at, aside from maybe the lava world where everything is kind of the same shade of orange-red. This game seems to be using the same models as the original, but honestly it's really hard to tell since they really do hold up. This is easily the best looking Monkey Ball game to date, which it should since it's the first console release in HD. Gameplay wise, the first thing I noticed when playing is the movement of this game feels a little odd if used to Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2, since the motion controls from the original are essentially mapped to a joystick. Turning feels a bit different in those games, but it's still significantly better than the original. Besides the change in movement, some levels were adjusted slightly in order to make it more fair to the player or just make the level harder so it's more interesting. There isn't too many levels that were changed, but the changes I appreciate greatly since some things like rails were really awkward and didn't really feel fair at all. There's some issues with collision, some stages like bumping randomly on a bridge you were rolling on and going for a platform when you're trying to do a cool skip. These are pretty annoying problems, but thankfully the game has been receiving some small patches since release, so these could potentially be solved in a matter of months. Honestly, movement was one of the aspects of the game I was a little worried about, since I felt like the Wii controls were unusable in the original. There were minor things like holding straight up being faster in diagonals, but overall the controls are very workable. Jumping still isn't perfect. The turning being pretty different can make precise jumps pretty hard in some spots, and the bounce summon can keep you from jumping sometimes. And I generally prefer the level design when jump isn't present. And that doesn't mean I think the inclusion of jumping is all bad like some people might say. I think overall in this game it works pretty well. And yeah, some levels can be completely cheesed to be really frustrating with its inclusion, but doing fun skips with the movement the game gives you has always been an aspect of the series I enjoy, and aside from one level near the end of the game, I feel like all the challenge that jumping can bring is completely fair. I'm pretty mixed on the bosses overall. At first I hated the World 2 boss since the knockback on the missiles felt really cheap and I kept getting frustrated by the difficulty, but after coming up with some better strategies for the boss it became a lot more manageable. The other bosses besides this one are pretty average difficulty due to them being pretty predictable and easy to figure out boss patterns. I don't really mind the bosses overall. They could have definitely been better, and I wouldn't really recommend the series to continue to have them unless they make them more like actual stages like the World 3 or 4 boss. There are some changes to the original that seem pretty odd, like how completion medals which you get by beating a world before it continue don't unlock Worlds 9 and 10 anymore. As nice as it is that players can experience more of the game now, it does make the game lose a bit of replay value that could have been nice. There are also minor stuff like not having a practice mode and having to quit to switch out characters, which don't break the game but do raise some eyebrows. Another one of these changes is the game's soundtrack. All world themes in this game were replaced from the original Banana Blitz aside from World 3, which was an original track for that game. This was due to licensing issues and the game's already short development probably didn't help this. So the songs are replaced with either new songs or old Monkey Ball songs, mainly 3D. I don't mind the difference in OST. Personally I didn't really like the original soundtrack a lot, but some of the choices could be seen as a bit odd, like how World 7, the Lava World, has the music for the space theme from Monkey Ball 1. Like sure it fits, but it probably could have been a better option. Overall, even though it isn't a perfect monkey ball game by any means, it does a good job distancing itself from the major problems of the original, although still having some minor problems. If you're looking to scratch that monkey ball itch inside you, or you hate the motion controls of the original and want to play the game in a more traditional way, then it's definitely a game I'd recommend. There is plenty of fun to be had in the main game in Time Attack, but if you want to play as a fun multiplayer party game, then there are better options out there. Hello, thank you for watching. This video is kind of like a more of a filler video to have something out there as I work on the next one. As far as stuff I want to recommend to watch, I did a collab with Joni, or Johnny, I actually don't know how to pronounce it, on Super Monkey Ball Jr. I talked about Monkey Ball Endgates there. Yeah, it's really interesting. I'll link it and you can see it. But besides that, thank you for watching very much. I know videos haven't been coming out at the fastest of rate, but that's what happens when you're lazy like me. So yeah, see ya.